Now, superfood to me is all about making great tasting food that just so happens to be good for you. Quick cooking is one thing, but I want to take it up a notch and bring you a new playbook of recipes that do just that.
I'll show you how to create easy-to-follow dishes that are perfect for your busy life.
Eating healthy doesn't have to be boring, and there's a world of flavour ready to be discovered. Sometimes you just have to jump in. These recipes are designed to work for you, and they're ready in under half an hour, with some great shortcuts that'll make cooking for the week a breeze. So if you're strapped for time,
And if the idea of eating better sounds good, I've got a serious selection of game-changing recipes.
making your food super every day. Today on Superfood in Minutes, we are diving into dishes with big flavour, like this harissa chicken with a colourful salad. A taste of the north with a fragrant Scandi fish dish. Divine veg combos that are rich and sweet.
This is where it's at.
And a lamb supper that will put a spring in your step.
Simple, spring flavours, brought to life on a plate. This Scandi-inspired supper brings great flavours to the table. It's oily salmon teamed up with creamy dill, which is a match made in heaven.
Get the potatoes into a pan and add enough water to just almost cover the spuds. Then season with sea salt and black pepper. Add the butter and cover. While that simmers away, finely chop a red onion and add it to a bowl with the juice of half a lemon and some seasoning. Let that start to pickle and shave some cucumber strips, adding those to the bowl too. Uncover the potatoes, and while the last bit of water evaporates, slice the radishes thinly. To make the dressing for this dish, add a tablespoon of creamy horseradish to some creme fraiche along with a dash of oil and lemon juice. Bring it all together with some freshly chopped dill and mix. Season to taste and set aside while you finish off those potatoes. With the back of a wooden spoon, crush the potatoes until the skin splits and then sprinkle over some more dill. Let the potatoes brown a bit in the pan for another few minutes. Then transfer them to a bowl along with the marinated onion and cucumber. Toss in the radishes and combine everything with a large spoon. Now add the hot smoked salmon and serve it straight to the table with some of that gorgeous dressing. A warm, fragrant fish dish oozing with Scandi flavour combos and ready in a flash. Give it a go tonight.
If you want something different, you have to try this spring lamb with vibrant veggies. It's fresh, tender, and an easy one to remember. One of the ingredients I miss most when I'm away from home is Irish lamb. It's such an underrated meat, and we need to be cooking more of it. It's gorgeous as your Sunday roast, but in this midweek supper, I'm going to show you how you can transform it to something that's an everyday dinner. One of my favourite cuts to use is the lamb leg steak. It's not that easy to find, but a good butcher will be able to make this up out of any lamb leg. And you get these gorgeous medallions of steak that can be cooked off quite easily in the pan. Perfect for midweek suppers. Now, start off, get your pan on nice and hot. Little drizzle of oil goes straight in. I'm just going to take some black pepper and some sea salt and season them up. You do this on a flat surface like this, and it ensures that none of the seasoning goes to waste. The best part of using this as a meat is the sweetness that you get and how quickly they cook. They're literally going to take 2-3 minutes either side, and then we're going to get them out. Just like steak, you do not want to overcook this. You're looking for medium rare here, so about 2 or 3 minutes either side, a little bit less even for that nice bit of pink in the center. And just look at the browning. It's so simple. A little oil, salt and pepper, and you have something fantastic. Now, while they're cooking off on this side, I'm going to slice up my baby gem and slice up my potatoes. It might seem strange to cook lettuce, but this is a classic sort of way of treating baby gem. So just slice up that baby gem in half, and actually my lamb is just about done, so it is going to have a further bit of cooking time, so I want to take it out at this point just so that we don't overcook it. Lamb's out, leave it to rest. Let's talk about the veggies. So we've got our baby gem all sliced up, but I also want some baby potatoes here. So with these, I'm just going to slice them in half and we're going to get them straight in the pan. The potatoes here need the time to cook out, so treating them with a little bit of time and a little bit of respect will give you gorgeously tender little morsels in amongst that sweet lamb. So heat back on the pan, straight in with a touch more oil. And while it's still hot, we're going to get in there with the potatoes. And get straight in there with some seasoning.
Toss the potatoes, making sure they don't catch on the hot pan. Then get in there with some chicken stock. Bring it to the boil, then cover and simmer for about 10 minutes.
Now, the potatoes have had the time to cook out. About 10 minutes should do it. And you should be left with a reduced liquid and some tender potatoes. Now, this is where we make things a little bit more interesting. And it requires one of my favorite ingredients, which is a little bit of butter. So, this is where we're making the flavour come together. So, rich creaminess from a generous knob of butter. Let that melt in and emulsify with the sauce. I've also got a teaspoon of this gorgeous peppery Dijon mustard. So about 2 teaspoons going in here. And because there's a lot of sweetness going on here between the potatoes, the lamb, and the peas, we want a bit of sharpness, and that comes in the form of white wine vinegar. And again, with these sorts of simple home cooking recipes, it's still no excuse not to look after the flavor, the balance of that sweetness, the saltiness, all those incredible elements that bring something as simple as this dish to life. Bring that temperature right up, get it bubbling, and then it's time for our baby gem and our peas. I'm going to add the lamb steaks back in at this point, just to warm them through and just to ensure that they're nicely cooked as well. And the great thing about leaving the lamb out like this is that it has had time to rest. And all these gorgeous juicers, this is the magic elixir that you're going to add straight into the pan all the way over the top. That is just simple, delicate, spring flavors brought to life on a plate. Homemade salad dressings are worth their weight in gold. They will help you get dinner to the table even quicker if you prepare them in advance. Here are 3 of my absolute favorites.
This Asian dressing starts with a jam jar and a tablespoon of soy sauce, followed by 3 tablespoons of sunflower oil, honey for sweetness, and then some garlic peeled and finely chopped. To cut through all those strong flavour notes, the juice of half a lime, and finally a thumb-sized piece of ginger that's been peeled and diced. Pop on the lid and give it a good shake. Next up, a classic French mustard dressing. Of course, olive oil forms the base of the mixture, followed by the juice of half a lemon. Then a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. The mustard's next, followed by some minced garlic. Finish up with some seasoning of black pepper and sea salt. Pop on the lid and give it a whirl. Last dressing is a herby balsamic number that goes with everything. Start with a great quality extra virgin olive oil and then the best balsamic vinegar you can get your hands on. For the herbs, we've got freshly chopped basil, thyme and rosemary. Then it's minced garlic and a tablespoon of honey. Finish off with a touch of sea salt and black pepper. Pop on the lid and you're good to go. That's 3 delicious dressings that really will make your weeknight meals easier, but more importantly, tastier. This spicy, crunchy rainbow salad is going to be your new midweek pick-me-up. It's an excellent lunch or dinner dish, and the harissa makes it a meal with attitude. For this recipe, I'm using my favourite part of the chicken, boneless thighs. Season the meat and then slather with the harissa paste. Zest the rind of a lemon on top and let it sit for a bit while you get some oil into a pan and up to temperature. When it's ready, get in there with the chicken and let it fry until it's golden and crispy. Flip them over and remove when both sides are perfectly cooked. Set aside to rest. For the dressing, add some oil to a glass bowl and get in there with some lemon juice, seasoning, and give it a good mix until it's emulsified. Add a bag of pre-washed rainbow salad, some drained chickpeas from a can, a handful of chopped flat leaf parsley, and some sliced avocado. Slice up the chicken and spoon over a few tablespoons of natural yogurt. Mix it all together and get it straight to the table. Golden harissa chicken with a mouth-watering rainbow salad. How delicious does that look? Coming up, 2 terrific new dishes to set some appetites a-blazing. A rich and sticky Thai aubergine dish and another 5-minute meal challenge.
That is one hot chili.
This is my superfood in minutes. Perfect for food lovers and those of you who want delicious meals without the fuss. Now, I want to prove to you that there is more to an aubergine than a cheeky emoji. They are a fantastically versatile ingredient, and I want to show you how to make the most of them.
The core element of this entire recipe comes down to the fantastic umami bite and marinade that we're going to create. So it starts off with 100 milliliters of soy sauce. Sounds like a lot, but it's going to soak its way through the aubergine and really allow us to get these really sticky and gorgeous aubergine fingers. So a little bit of fish sauce. It's about 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. Now to balance out the saltiness, I've got a little bit of brown sugar for sweetness. Straight in there. A little drop of oil. This will help us out when it gets to frying off these aubergine. And then our aromatics. I've got some gorgeous bird's eye chilies. You're only going to need about 1 or 2 of these. They will blow your mind. So chop these up nice and fine. And a recipe like this you can make completely vegetarian if you drop the fish sauce. And you can even use tamari instead of the soy sauce and you'll still get sticky, gorgeous aubergine fingers. And then 2 cloves of garlic. These are quite heavy-duty ingredients in terms of flavour, but the great thing about aubergine is that it's a fantastic carrier for any flavour you add to it. So it becomes meaty and it becomes juicy, but we're also going to inject it with lovely aromatics too. Now, fine chopping the garlic, fine chopping the chilli. I think when it comes to vegetarian meals for me, I like to make sure that I don't miss out on the flavour front. And I think a recipe like this really delivers a serious punch of heat and spice and aromatics. Scoop that up and get it straight in the bowl. And now, grab up a tiny whisk and we're going to give this a whisk up just to combine all those flavours and most importantly to allow that sugar to dissolve. Okay, that's the hard bit done. Let's get our aubergine. I really feel like it's an ingredient people don't use enough of, and it's really substantial and meaty, especially in a dish like this. It can stand up as the main and core ingredient. So I'm just going to take off the top. With this recipe, I want to get nice fingers of aubergine to soak up all that marinade. Now, don't be afraid of cutting these quite thickly here. They are going to reduce down as they cook. So get that straight into the marinade, and let's get soaking. This is the beautiful moment in this recipe. You introduce that exposed aubergine to that rich umami sauce and it just immediately starts soaking it up. So you can imagine when this goes in the pan, it's going to fry off, it's going to become golden and really beautifully caramelized. This needs to sit now for about 10 minutes just to soak up all the flavor and then we're going to get frying.
Get some oil in a pan on a medium heat. Put the aubergines in and cook for 10 minutes, reducing the heat after the first few. Hold back any excess marinade. We'll need that in a bit.
Just keep your eye on this, and once you've reduced that heat, you want to check on them every now and then, just turning so that they get a really even cook. And while they're cooking off, I'm going to cheat a little bit and use a bag of rice, which I'm going to pop in the microwave. It literally takes 2 minutes or so to get really quick rice. And look, I'm not saying that you should do this all the time, but it's a quick fix. This is where we need to be, really tender aubergine at this point. So when it's kind of coming close to the end of the cook time, it's time to get straight in there with the rest of that marinade, which is going to give you that glorious sticky sauce. Now, this is nearly at a good place, so I'm going to grab up a pestle and mortar, and peanuts are my favorite way of finishing off any Thai dish. They're crunched, they're salty, there's all this lovely flavor that you get from them. So pop them into a pestle and mortar and just give them a light bashing. So they're looking pretty good. Let's give a look at our pan. All those bubbles, that sweet sticky sauce. This is the perfect point you want it at. Turn off the heat, grab the rice. So I've got some jasmine rice here, cooked in a microwave. I'm sure there's people who'll throw their nose up about this, but when you don't have time in the kitchen and you need a quick fix, this is your only man. So place it around the plate, and now it's time for the aubergine. This is where it's at. You get left with these sort of meaty steaks of aubergine that just laid over the top of the rice look phenomenal, and I can promise you they're going to taste wonderful too. Don't forget about those peanuts. They're going to give you the crunch, the texture that you're after here. And because you have all that dark stickiness and that saltiness, I think a bit of freshness really works. So some fresh mint leaves picked over the top here will really make the difference. Those aromatics are so essential to a dish like this. So just pick them over the top. And because we're looking for freshness and flavor and elevating that dark stickiness, I want to grab up some fresh lime juice. A little hit of freshness just at the end of your cooking will really bring this to life. Time to taste. I mean, aubergine is such a simple and kind of almost flavorless ingredient, but it really responds well to that sweet, sticky sauce. And a dish like this really relies on the sum of its parts. You've got the layers of crunchiness, you've got the rice, which gives you a little bit of balance, and then you have the fresh hit from the mint and the lime. This is a Thai-inspired dish that will blow your midweek meals out of the park.
That's 4 of the best from the Superfood Kitchen. Divine sweet and sticky aubergines, a fresh no-nonsense chicken salad, lamb supper to put a spring in your step, and a salmon salad that just oozes Scandi flavour.
Right, for today's 5-minute meal challenge, it's a fish supper. This is chili, lemon, and garlic mackerel in a beautiful bean stew. I've got 5 minutes on the clock, so let's get cooking. Right, first job we need to do is get the pan on nice and hot. To the pan, we're going to add a little bit of oil and let that come up to temperature. Next, it's to collate all our ingredients. I've got some lemon, I've got some garlic, and I need to grab some stuff from the fridge. I've got some mackerel, I have some chili, and a little bit of stock as well. I think that's it. Very simple, full of flavour. Very easy to make. Now, we've got some butter beans here as well. I've drained and rinsed these. Cheat a little bit, but it's all right. Pan is coming up to temperature. Let's prep up our garlic and our lemon and our chili. So about 2 cloves of garlic here. Just take off the ends and then give it a smack with the back of the knife. This will ensure that you get your skin off nice and quickly. The garlic skin, of course, not you. Okay, take them off, and then we're going to give them a fine chop with our chili as well. So nice little thin slivers of garlic here are going to add lots of flavour. With 4 minutes on the clock, I want to get my pan on, our fish in the pan. So unwrap this, and we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to our fish. A little sprinkle just as this goes into the pan will make all the difference. And a little bit of salt as well. Tamp that around where you've got lots of seasoning and get that straight in, skin side down, and that's the sizzle you're after. If you're not got sizzle on your fish, you're not going to get crispy skin, so get straight in there and get these cooked off. Right, let's get rid of this and give the hands a quick wash. I want to make sure that we have all that cooking starting while I crack on with the rest of the ingredients. So, as I said, garlic is going to be sliced nice and thinly, so get straight in there, and all you're looking for is a nice, fine chop here. Same with the chili as well, and the flavour you're going to get from that fresh garlic and the chili is going to bring this dish to life. So a little bit of chili, and I think a fish like mackerel just really can stand up to these spicy flavours. So a whole chili in here with the seeds in. It's that combination of the oily skin, the oily flesh that really makes a difference here, and it's full of gorgeous flavour. So garlic, chili, lots of flavour. Get that straight into the pan and let it fry off in amongst all those gorgeous fish fillets. So that's looking good. A little sprinkle of some lemon zest will make a big difference in here, a little bit of freshness, and we're going to finish it off with a squeeze of that lemon as well. So straight in there, all the way over the top. Now, this is looking good, so I'm gonna prep up some parsley because this is a really lovely ingredient to add a bit of freshness with. We're gonna give that a very nice fine slice, and this is gonna go into our stew for a little bit of aromatics and a little bit of freshness. I've got 2 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock, so I'm gonna try and get in there and give our pan a little mix through. We've got lovely freshness and aromatics from our parsley. This is looking good. So just give those mackerel fillets a little swirl in the pan, and you wanna get that garlic and the chili all cooking off as well. So let's grab up a fish slice, concentrate, and see how we're looking. This is looking absolutely gorgeous. So flip them over. Nice little crispy edges to our skin, and that chili is definitely on fire as well, which is always a good thing. It means you know you're cooking in the kitchen. We're gonna add in our butter beans, and we're gonna add in a little bit, that is one hot chili. We're gonna add in our stock, or try and add in our stock. The little bit of steam that you're gonna get from the stock in here is gonna help tenderize that fish. So as this cooks out, you're gonna get really gorgeous flavor. Now, in amongst this, because this is our bean stew, we're gonna add in a little spinach. Now, this looks like a lot of spinach, but I promise you, this will wilt down in 1 minute and 37 seconds. So get that in, and now it's time to give it a little bit of love. Give it a little bit of shake, start folding that spinach in there. Remember, your fish is almost cooked at this point. It cooks super quick, and that's why fish is one of my favorite ingredients for a quick supper. So get that spinach in there. I actually think this needs a touch more stock, so I'm just gonna add a little splash of water as we go here, just to make sure that we get a nice wilt on that spinach. And that is pretty much it. Like, the hard work is done at this point. So we're just literally teasing that spinach in there. You're creating a little bit of flavor all together. I actually think this could do with a nice squeeze of lemon juice. I've got 1 minute on the clock, so I gotta keep moving along. I'm just gonna add a little squeeze of lemon juice for some freshness. But really, the hard work is done at this point. So give the hands a little wipe. We're gonna talk about plating this. So what you wanna do is grab up that bean stew. The spinach has nicely wilted down at this point, and I'm gonna add in a little bit of the parsley as well, just at this last moment, so that we get some of that aromatic running through. So give it a little stir through, being very careful not to break up any of the fish, and just take off any of that lovely bean stew off the top, and you can see that reveal of that really beautiful mackerel skin. So at this point, I'm gonna stop talking and let's plate up. Okay, we've got 20 seconds on the clock, so I'm gonna turn off the heat, grab up that bean stew, really simple, just store cupboard ingredients, stuff that you can get your hands on really quickly. I can hardly pull the bleeding words together, but we're nearly there. We've got 8 seconds. Oh my goodness. Okay, all the bean is up there, and that, my friends, is a gorgeous little fish supper. Very simple to make, great flavor. We're out of time. That is a fish supper that you want to dive into. So much so, I'm going to do exactly that. Let's give it a go. One of the best ways you can treat mackerel. Simple and elegant flavors. Try it.
Coming up next week, we are traveling the globe looking for a bit of spice and a flood of flavor. A double veggie curry with serious colour and an incredibly Moorish miso spaghetti. Some Thai street food that is super simple, and hearty crispy pork chops with a Chinese 5-spice twist.
This is the sort of food I get excited about.